Hello, little birds. Welcome to the campfire. I'm Tish Raven, and this is Campfire Stories. There was once a girl who was so beautiful, she turned the head of every boy in town. She had raven hair and deep blue eyes and the barest pink blush upon her cheek. None of the boys could resist her charms, and the girls were envious of her, except for one thing. Every single day, this girl wore a ribbon around her neck, and it was a stark, dark, black velvet ribbon that she tied up tight. It didn't matter what dress she wore, whether it was soft pink or pale blue, she always wore the black velvet ribbon. But despite that fashion faux pas, every boy fell madly in love with her, including the ox cart driver. He was a handsome boy with a shock of red hair and green eyes that could make every milkmaid swoon. But there was only one woman for him, and it was the girl. Now, fortunately for him, she loved him too. And the two of them would walk hand in hand, or sometimes sit together beneath the shade of a cherry tree and read each other poetry and whisper sweet nothings in each other's ears. One day, as the two were enjoying a sunny afternoon together, he looked up to her and he said, "My darling, my love, you are the most beautiful girl in the town. Probably the most beautiful girl in the entire world. And yet, every day, you wear that same black velvet ribbon tied around your neck. It doesn't suit you. Won't you take it off and wear something else?" And she looked to him and she said, "My darling, my love, you will be sorry if I take it off. And so I won't." And that was all the answer she gave. And the boy, while puzzled, accepted her answer, and he thought no more about it. Now, it wasn't long before he purchased a ring. And it was quite a ring, too, with a blue gemstone the color of her eyes. As they walked together one evening, he dropped to one knee, and he asked her to be his wife, and she, through breathless tears, said yes. And so the two began to plan their wedding. They decided that it would be a small affair, just in her family's parlor. And as a wedding gift, he gave to her a necklace with the same jewels as the ring. And she cried with delight, for it was the most beautiful thing she'd ever seen, and declared it to be the nicest gift she had ever received. the day of their wedding came. And as the guests in the parlor waited, the girl came down the stairs, and there was a gasp in the room. She was wearing a dress that was pale blue, just like her eyes. There were baby's breath in her hair, and she was smiling so brightly it lit the whole room with her joy. And the boy's mouth dropped open. But it was not with joy. For the only thing that he could see was the black velvet ribbon tied up tightly around his bride's neck. And it filled him with despair. Now at the wedding luncheon, as the two of them sat together, nibbling on roast chicken, he said to her, "My darling, my bride, you are radiant. No bride has ever been as lovely as you. But I cannot help but notice that you did not wear the gift I gave you. Instead, you wore the black velvet ribbon again. Won't you take it off and wear something else, anything else?" And his bride's eyes filled with pain and shame. And she looked away from him and she said, "My darling, my love, you will be sorry if I do. And so I won't." And she gave no more answer than that. And it bothered the boy. But they were married now. And she was still beautiful, and still the wonderful person he knew. And so he decided to let it go and enjoy the rest of the wedding feast. And that evening, he carried her across the threshold into their new house. And they were both so tired, they decided to go to bed early. And as they got into their evening clothes and climbed into bed and pulled the covers up to their chins, he noticed that even now, as they were preparing for bed, she was still wearing the black velvet ribbon. And with a roll of his eyes, he said to her, "My darling, my wife, it is bedtime now. We are going to bed. There is no one here to see what you are wearing. Will you please take off the black velvet ribbon so that we can go to bed?" And the girl yawned sleepily and closed her eyes, and she said, "My darling, my love, you will be sorry if I do, so I..." And she didn't even finish her sentence because she was already asleep. And the boy tried to sleep. But every time he closed his eyes, all he could think about was the black velvet ribbon. Why would she only wear the black velvet ribbon? Why would she refuse, even at bedtime, to take off the black velvet ribbon? Why did it always have to be the black velvet ribbon until finally he could take it no more? His eyes snapped open, and he made a very poor decision. He waited until his wife was deeply asleep, and slowly, ever so slowly, he reached out and grasped the edges of the knot. And slowly, ever so slowly, he began to undo the knot. Sweat rolled into his eyes, but he dared not blink it away. His hands moved so slowly that they trembled until at last the knot was undone. And gently, ever so gently, he snatched it away from her neck. And slowly, ever so slowly, his wife's head rolled from her pillow and fell off of the bed, where it landed on the floor and bounced 3 times until it landed perfectly upright. And she opened her eyes. And she looked at her husband the way that only a wife may look at a husband. And she said, "My darling, my love, I told you, you would be sorry." Thank you for joining me at the campfire. I am Tish Raven, and I wish you good nightmares.